Good evening. My name is Owen Eales. I'm the VCE manager at the Box Hill Institute CA campus. So welcome to the VCE Information Session. With me is Drew Gilmore. He's the VCE coordinator, and we're going to talk through a few topics to do with the CAE, Box Hill Institute, and how you can study VCE here. And then at the end, we'll take some questions from you. All right, we're ready to go, Drew. Might make a start. Yeah. So, move my screen around. Yeah. So through the session today, we'll tell you a little bit about the Box Hill Institute and the CAE. We'll give you a bit of a rundown about the course overview and the structure. We have a slightly different structure to other learning institutions. We'll talk to you a little bit about the course delivery, and we'll give you a bit of information about what we've been doing since things have adapted under the restrictions due to COVID-19. Career outcomes. We'll have some questions at the end, and after that, we'll have the video on how to apply. And waiting for my screen to update.
Okay, so while Owen's doing that, what we'll be doing is just sort of moving back and forward between Owen and myself. There are probably some things that are more relevant to me as the coordinator. We'll also explain to you what the difference between Owen, VCE manager, and myself being the VCE coordinator, and how it would affect you if you applied to be a student here. So back to you, Owen.
All right, thanks, Drew. So yeah, so my name's Owen, and you just met Drew. Our buildings, we'll show you some pictures of them a little bit later, but our campus is located in the city, 21 De Grey Street and 253 Flinders Lane. There's two buildings out of which we have our office and conduct our classes. You might be familiar with Flinders Lane. It's the location of the Melbourne City Library. It's very close to Flinders Street. Just to give you a little bit of information about Box Hill and what we do at Box Hill. So we're a vocational and higher education provider. We have 3 campuses, one in Box Hill, this one in the Melbourne CBD, and also one in Lilydale. As well as the VCE certificate, we offer other certificate courses, certificate 2, 3, and 4 courses, diplomas and degrees, and also postgraduate courses. The VCE is a slightly different certificate to some of the certificates that we have here at Box Hill. A lot of the certificates are very practical and link work and life and have strong practical components. The VCE has a slightly more academic focus, and the courses that we have and the subjects that we have more of that focus as opposed to other certificates. But one thing that we hold in common with all of the other courses is that we have highly experienced staff, very experienced VCE teachers who've been teaching the VCE for a long time and understand the curriculum and the cohort of students that are interested in coming to study at the CAE very well.
Okay, and shortly I'll go into that in a lot more detail, talking about what puts us different to normal secondary schools, mainstream schools, and also other providers that offer the VCE.
We'll talk to you a little bit later as well about how the VCE can be a pathway to further study at Box Hill as well, and other higher education courses. One of the great things that we have at Box Hill is a lot of services that can support students through their study. So we have a lot of students who are returning to study, a lot of students who are seeking an alternative to a regular school, and we have a lot of services here that can really support students in staying engaged and also completing VCE. The main wellbeing body that we have at Box Hill and the CAE is called Student Life, and they can help students with counselling, wellbeing, sometimes financial assistance, academic assistance in respect of reasonable adjustments, all sorts of things like that. So anything really that could be helpful for you to support you in completing your study, Student Life can help you with that.
There are also,
sorry, Drew.
Sorry, I was just going to add that there are also student lives on campus here in the city, and we work really closely not only with Student Life and the counsellors there, but as you'll see further on down in the slide, also with the case managers from Reconnect. Yeah,
that's right. So yeah, we have counsellors on campus who can help you with a range of different things to do with your study. Yeah, and we work closely with them in the VCE department. We also have a number of courses and support services for students who are returning to study. So we have VCE ready courses and pre-VCE courses. So these aren't part of the VCE certificate, but they're short courses that you can do to help you get ready for VCE study if you're returning to study. Build up skills that you need to do well in your VCE study. So if you're interested in finding out more about them, you can ask Drew or I in the question section a bit later. We also have a program called the Reconnect Program. The Reconnect Program is for students from 16 to, Drew, you would know the age, is it 65?
Yeah, 60, 65, 66. So it basically encompasses everyone who is, as the word says, wanting to reconnect, in our case, with their schooling.
And so the Reconnect Program, if you've been out of full-time study or full-time work for the year preceding your enrolment, then you can connect with a Reconnect coordinator and sign up for the program, and you'll be assigned a caseworker. So that's somebody who can just help you with anything, any questions, any support that you need to help you with your study and your VCE study. So it could be something like trying to track down how to find your textbooks and things like that. So that's just an extra support. It can be well-being support as well, and they'll check in on you and see how you're going and things like that. But that's a really valuable resource for students we have who choose to take it up.
Yeah, also with Reconnect has a very valuable thing where it's free. You can sign up, and you can also not engage with Reconnect. So they don't hold you to anything, but even just the other week, we had a Reconnect student who was working with her case manager, sorting out the whole job seeker thing and helping her at the Centrelink. So there's a whole myriad of things that Reconnect can help you with, and it's really what you need.
Yep. And if you want to find out about any of these services or really any other services, one I can think of is the Jobs and Skills Centre, which can help you with getting ready for applying for jobs and things like that, but also further study. You can find out more about them at the student web, and the website is there. If you go to the link at the top, the Student Hub, you'll find a lot of information there about different services and things that we have for students. All right.
So you're about to see our beautiful buildings, I think.
Right.
Coming up in, there we are.
Yep, that's right. So here you can see some pictures. So as I said, we're conveniently located in the city. It's quite, well, it's one trip on a train if you're coming in. So it's straight into the city. We're in Flinders Lane. You might be familiar with this building because it's right next door to the city library. And there is Flinders Street, which you're very, very close to if you're getting into the city by that means, which we do, Drew.
Well, definitely. And there's Campbell Arcade, which is an underpass. So I travel by train every day, get off at platform 1. If it's raining, I don't even get my hair wet walking under the Campbell Arcade, coming out at CAE, and off we go. So it's quite easy getting in here.
Yeah. So just to give you a little bit more information about the VCE program, here you can see some statistics of the age groups of students who are currently enrolled. So we have we have a large number of students who are 16 to 25, and then some older students as well. This just gives you an idea about some of the different reasons why students come and study VCE at the Box Hill Institute CAE campus. So you can see there's a lot of different reasons. There's a variety of students and goals that they're trying to reach. We have quite a number of students returning to study, but also students looking for an alternative. We have students wanting to boost their ATAR and things like that. So we do cater for a wide variety of students and student needs. This just gives you a picture of an idea where some of our students come from. You can see that because of our central location, we do have students that come from all over Melbourne and the regional area as well, coming into the city. So yeah, that just sort of gives you an idea about the diversity of the students who come to the CAE. Here are some school statistics. Just in relation to the number of VCE completions and the median study score and things like that. We publish this information every year on our website, but what it really shows is that we really have a diverse range of students. Some of them who, if they're returning to improve their ATAR, they're quite academically motivated, and we have other students as well who are completing a VCE for different reasons as well. So we're an inclusive environment, which Drew is about to talk about, and we cater for a wide range of students from different ages and different parts of the city.
Okay, so The next part that we're going to have a look at is that idea of inclusiveness and diversity that Owen was talking about. I'm going to just sort of go through and talk about most of these points. We are an adult in an adult setting. What that means for you is that people are treated within the CAE Box Hill Institute environment as young adults ranging to older adults. Now, with that comes a set of responsibilities. You're treated like an adult, so you bring those requirements to your study and your enrolment here. I think the diversity and the inclusiveness is best summed up in a little anecdote that I heard a couple of years ago, and that is that people who enroll here, everyone has their own story, and by that we mean that everyone has their own reason for being here. It might be to re-engage with school, it might be that mainstream schools don't fit, it might be that you're studying something out of interest, or you might be studying because of the structure of our courses. So with that, everyone has their own story, everyone's treated with respect, and everyone is supported, okay, which I think is a really big thing. So I might drop down to the last dot point there with the supportive environment. As we said to you before, there is student life, there are all your teachers are extremely supportive. They all understand the reasons why people are here, and they strive to make you as successful as you possibly can be. If you happen to be striking a few barriers that are interfering with your study, then what our job is to find out what those barriers are and to help you overcome those, okay, rather than to admonish or punish for not attending. You can have a scored VCE, and by that we mean that people want to get a score, they want to get an ATAR, and they want to move into tertiary options using their ATAR along with other things. But for some students, what they need and what they want is an unscored or a non-scored VCE. So you'll still end up with your VCE, it'll still be satisfactory, you'll still get a certificate, but it just won't give you an ATAR score. Now, in some cases, adults don't need so much an ATAR score to get into university. That's something, as we said before, we have careers people here ready to talk to you about different pathways to go on to tertiary studies. But an adult VCE is primarily for someone who is 18 years of age as of the 1st of January, the calendar year that you're enrolling, who's been out of full-time schooling for 12 months. Now, what that means for them is they do 4 Unit 3 and 4 studies, and that gets them their VCE. Now, one of those has to come from the English group, either English, English literature, or English language. Where a youth VCE is pretty much the type of VCE that's offered in schools, because everyone's under 18 when they engage in VCE, and most people are just 18 when they finish. So with a youth VCE, you need a total of 16 units, and 8 of those units have to be your 3/4 sequences, including English. But when you enroll with us, that's something that we'll sit down with you and go through. If you've got questions, do I qualify as an adult returning to study? Do I have to do a youth VCE? Do I have to do it in 1 year? And that's probably what we're talking about with the flexible study options. You can do one subject a year if you like. A lot of our students break their VCE into a couple of years. So they might be doing a couple of Unit 2 subjects. So for example, if you enrolled in mid-year with us, you might enroll in 4 Unit 2 subjects, and you could be doing those to set yourself up for an adult VCE in 2021. But the thing that you need to remember, and you've probably got a lot of individual questions with that, is when you're with us, that's what we sit down and talk to you about. And as we said earlier, all our teachers are very well versed in what's required, different ways that you can go about it. Probably my main aim or main purpose is the well-being and welfare of students. So along with everyone else, we spend a lot of time making sure that that's what you need. And probably if there's one thing that you should take out of this is just keep the lines of communication open. So if you talk to us, we're able to provide answers in most cases for you and offer pathways and support. Okay.
Thanks, Drew. If you want to find out more about scored and non-scored VCE and some of the study options that we have here, you can go to the website, CAE website, and go to the VCE page, and there's some videos there. The current timetable is there, so you can see the subjects that we have on offer for semester 2. Yeah, you can make a good decision then about what you want to study. All right, we'll just talk to you briefly about how the VCE is structured at the CAE. So currently we have a timetable. One subject is 3.5 hours class per week. That means for each subject there's only one class per week. Beyond that, we have a 1.5 hour tutorial that's optional, where you can come and get extra help and support from your teacher. So when you're deciding on your enrollment, you can decide to study full-time or part-time. Full-time would be 4 subjects. Part-time is less than 4, but you can study 3, 2, or 1 subject, depending on your age and maybe some other requirements as well. But you can really choose your study load based upon how you feel about coming back to study and other things that are going on in your life, you know, with work and other sort of commitments. Here's some information about what an adult VCE looks like and a youth VCE looks like. So Drew spoke about that just now, but if you have a look through that, you'll be able to see what's needed for completion of VCE, and these are the requirements that you need to get your VCE certificate. Yeah, so the summary is that there's a variety of ways that you can go to complete your VCE. You can study full-time, and if you're completing the adult VCE, conceivably you could complete it over 1 year. If you're completing an adult VCE, then you can also make a study plan to complete it over 1 year, 2 years, or even 3 years, depending on really on how you want to plan your study. All right, Drew might drop in here a little bit and talk a little bit about how we've been teaching at the moment, because as everyone knows, there's been a change in the way that education is being delivered now because of the restrictions due to COVID-19. So at the CAE for term 2, I'll just give you a brief rundown on what we're doing, and term 3 and beyond, how we see the future panning out for the rest of the year. So at this stage, we have been delivering classes remotely. And what that means is that we have been running classes on the regular timetable. So at the regular time that we had for face-to-face classes, that is continuing. However, for remote delivery, we have the virtual classroom, and that means that students come into the virtual classroom at their regular timetable time, either via Zoom or MS Teams at times, and there they meet their teacher, and the teacher goes through the material, the instruction, and sets up the work for that week. The tutorials have been running in the same format, virtual tutorials via Zoom. The other activities and resources are online. Submission of classwork and assessments is via the student web, that is online submission. And all the resources and learning materials are on the student web as well, which was the previous website that I pointed you towards in an earlier slide.
Okay.
At this stage, sorry, Drew.
I might just jump in here, Owen.
Yep.
I've got 2 Year 12 classes that are operating as well. So I teach psychology as, excuse me, as well as being the VCE coordinator. If I can just give you a brief idea of what happens. I had a class this morning. So everyone logs in via the student web at 8:45, and we start the class. Actually, the class really does start pretty much on time because people don't have to travel in this sense. So this morning we were operating on Zoom. People log on. We spent a period of time going through the work. We're actually doing some revision today in preparation for the SAC that we're running next week. Then people stay online, go off their screens and complete a number of tasks, come back, we have discussion, people may be doing questions, we're having a look at video clips, all that type of stuff. So because the class runs for 3.5 hours, we need to really mix it up and use lots of forms of learning activities, etc., and so forth. So once the class comes to an end, we set up what we need to do in preparation for the following week, and then my tutorial runs on Friday from 11 to 12:30 at this stage, and so people come along, do the same thing, except the tutorials are student driven. So the students log on to the tutorial and they might say, well, today we want to go over aspects of classical conditioning or whatever it is, and can we spend some time doing that? Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Drew. We have been staging a return to campus as well. And some science practical classes have returned to campus this week and last week. And we're planning some assessments, some SACs to be completed on campus in the coming week as well. So that's what we've been doing for term 2. For term 3 and beyond, at this stage, we're looking at science practicals and assessments to be on campus. And we're still waiting for approval for theory classes to return to campus, mainly because we're looking at social distancing and making sure that everything is correct for our theory classes when they return to campus. If the theory classes do return to campus, some of the classes may still remain in a remote mode as well. So that's just something to be mindful of. And the tools that most students have been using for remote learning have been a computer with a webcam, some sort of audio, microphone, that sort of thing, and internet access. So as you're probably aware, the situation with restrictions is changing day to day. So what we're trying to give you here is really the best advice that we have about how classes will run for the second semester. You know, we do have the expectation that at some point theory classes will return to campus, but it's just a little bit difficult for us at this stage to say exactly when. So, but we can make some, well, we can give you some information about what we think is going to happen for term 3. All right.
I think it's probably question time.
So we're up to question time. I think if anyone has a question, they will type that question into
the first one.
Hang on, looks like we've got one here. We've got some here.
Yeah, I'll answer that one if you like. What time are classes each day? Okay, we have 3 sets. So AM classes, morning classes begin at 8:45. They run to 12:15. Afternoon classes begin at 1 p.m. and run through to 4:30 p.m. And the evening classes begin at 5 p.m. and run to 8:30 p.m. So basically 3.5 hours per class. I'll probably preempt a question that's quite often asked at information evenings is how is VCE here at the CAE the same as VCE or worth the same as VCE in a school? The simple answer is yes. We have to abide by all the rules and regulations that VCAR, the governing body, sets out for anyone who delivers the VCE. Our structure is just different. In a mainstream school, you might be going to class 3 or 4 times a week. Here you come once a week, but it's for 3.5 hours.
Yep, thanks, Drew. I've got a question here. I've only completed year 10 for adult VCE. Do you have subjects 1 and 2? Yes, we do. So if you've only completed year 10, you'll be completing, depending if you're over 18, you can, well, you'll be eligible for adult VCE. If you're under 18, you'll be completing youth VCE. Even if you're completing adult VCE, we do have Unit 2 subjects. So for semester 2, we have a number of Unit 2 subjects. We have English, General Maths, Biology, Chemistry, Business Management, Sociology, and Psychology. So they're the Unit 2 subjects that we have on offer. And if you're completing, to get your certificate, you're going to complete adult VCE, you can still come and do a Unit 2 subject in preparation for a Unit 3 and 4 sequence. Or if you're completing youth VCE, you can come and enroll in a number of Unit 2 subjects as part of the minimum requirement for completing youth VCE. And as I mentioned before, if you go to the CAE website, to the VCE page, you'll be able to find the VCE timetable there, and that will have the subjects that we've got offered for semester 2. Did you have any other questions there, Drew?
No, I've only got the time the classes are.
Okay,
So,
I've got another one. You might like to answer this one, Drew. I passed 3 subjects approximately 1990. Can I complete VCE by doing 1 extra subject?
yes is the simple answer. The good thing about VCE is accumulative. So if you pass 3 subjects in 1990, say 1996, because VCE came in 90, yeah, basically in 90 with a couple of subjects, and then ballooned out to the offering that we've got. But simply, if your 1 subject offers successful VCE completion, you can do 1 subject. Okay? Again, that would be something that we'd have a look at, probably in something that's relevant to that as well is if people have done certain levels interstate, for example, you can come and see us and say to us, well, I've done the equivalent of this in New South Wales. How does that equate to the VCE? VCAR will quite often give you credit for other things that you've done. But simply, yes, you can add to your VCE as long as you've got 1, 3, 4 sequence from the English group, English, English language, English lit, plus 3 other sequences. The sequence has to be done in a calendar year. So I hope that answers it.
Yeah. Having a look. Oh, maybe I'll have a go at this one. Do you guys offer tutors for assistance, or is it up to the students to contact through another source? So we have tutorials which are optional, which you can attend, and the teacher will be there to help you and explain anything further. In terms of finding specific one-on-one tutors for your study, we don't offer that service. But there's a few different places around where you can find tutors, and we'd be able to help you to point you in a few directions. But yeah, we don't really offer that sort of service, strictly speaking. We do have literacy and numeracy support though for students who may need it in the classroom. Yeah, that's just something further.
Okay, I've got a couple of questions. They just seem to get a little bit lost. Are languages offered at our VCE program? Unfortunately, we don't offer languages, but what you can do is you can do a language with the Victorian School of Languages. So say, for example, you were going to do Spanish, you could do Spanish with the Victorian School of Languages. That would be 1 of your 3, 4 subjects, or 1, 2 subjects. You could do the rest of your subjects with us. The SACs that you would do with VSV, the Victorian School of Languages, you would do them with them. Okay. Sometimes people do a subject with Virtual Schools Victoria, which is like the old distance ed, and they do 1 subject that may be not offered here with them, and do their other subjects with me, with us. Why I said with me is that I take on the role of supervisor for people who are doing subjects at VSV. So we've got one guy who's doing geography. We don't offer geography. He's doing that with VSV. When he has to sit his SAC, they send all the documentation to me. I arrange to supervise his SAC just like his teacher would. I've got another question here. When will the subjects offered for semester 1, 2021 be confirmed? I'm hoping to do English language 1 and 2. My school doesn't offer it. So I might flick that one back to you, Owen. So questions, when will subjects offered for semester 1 in 2020 be confirmed?
That would be our watch this space question, I think. October. We would hope to have them out in October. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is, as with all our classes, it's subject to demand too. So we need a number of people, and again, that's as Owen said, that's sort of watch this space as to what gets up.
I'm just answering a question. Someone who's started their enrolment, but they've been sent a link and they can't open it. So they're having a little bit of trouble with that. So I'm just sending out the address for the VCE office, the email address, and also my email address. So I'm going to send it to the student, but I'll also send it to the whole group. I might put yours in as well, Drew.
Yeah, certainly.
And if you have any questions like that, you can contact us, and we'll be able to find the right person in the Institute to help you out.
All right, so whilst Owen's doing that, I'll go on with the next question I've got. And this question asks, if I haven't completed any Unit 1 subjects, I guess I won't be able to start until 2021. Is that right? Well, fortunately, that's not right. That you don't have to have completed Unit 1 to do Unit 2. Now, some Unit 2 subjects, you probably really do need to do Unit 1 to move into Unit 2, okay? But for the majority of subjects, you can do a Unit 2 subject without doing Unit 1. And as Owen said earlier, for some people, just doing a couple of Unit 2 subjects could lead them into 3 and 4 in 2021, and then they might do, in 2021, they might do a combination. They might do 2 3/4s and another 1/2, or another 2 1/2s, so they can finish it off next year. So technically you can, and practically you can do your VCE over a year and a half if you enroll in mid-year. Okay, and again, that's what we'd be talking to you about and showing you what you need to do.
I've received a message here. When will VCE Maths and VCE Science preparation courses be held? Will it be in October? Now that is a very good question, and I have the answer. I just need to check my emails.
All right, whilst Owen's doing that, in the lead up, I was asked, where's the Victorian School of Languages? How do I contact them about taking any language subject? So if you just Google Victorian School of Languages, it'll come up with their website. On their website, it'll have enrolments are open, and I'll have a contact. So you just do that. The other thing, if you want, you can just send an email to me. So attention Drew at the VCE mailbox. So vce@cae.edu.au, and ask me the question again, and I can provide the the link for you. But it's pretty easy. Just go on Google Victorian School of Languages, their website will come up, and just follow the outline as to how you go about making contact.
So the question, when will maths and science courses preparation courses be held? There will be a maths method course starting in term 3 and term 4, and there will be a preparation for science in term 4. I might reply to that message with the CAE website. You can find out about those courses on the CAE website. If you go to the VCE title at the top, and a tab will come down, and then it should have the courses there. You'll be able to find out about them when they've been put up there for enrolment.
Okay, the next question I've got, what prerequisites are required for methods/specialist maths study? Unfortunately, we don't offer specialist maths. And for methods, it depends on whether you're doing Unit 1 or 2 methods or 3 and 4. Generally speaking, to do 3 and 4, you'd need to have done 1 and 2, or at least one of those. We can also arrange a face-to-face or maybe a remote meeting with the maths coordinator who can talk through your options there. Okay, but it's as far as we're concerned, it's more we wouldn't want a person enrolling in methods if their maths level was really low. We'd want them to work towards that. Okay, and that's where prep for methods comes in.
Okay. I'm just looking here at how to send out the email address, but I had a bit of trouble with that. But I can maybe just say it verbally. If you have any questions and you want to email the VCE office, you can contact you or I by that method. If I remember correctly, it will be in the PowerPoint, but it's vce@cae.edu.au. You can contact us through there, or you can ask just general questions. That's the VCE office. Drew, did you have any other questions?
Yes, one just popped up. Would Unit 3 and 4 physics, chemistry, maths methods, or specialist maths be available in 2021? Okay, specialist maths won't be, I would say. What you'll find is very few providers offering specialist maths. You can do specialist maths by VSV though, and we have a student doing that this year. Again, I act as the supervisor for the SACs there. We would offer the other 3, but again, it depends on numbers. Okay, so basically when the timetable comes out, which will be October, have a look there. Everything that's offered is available for you to enroll in.
Sorry, I've just got a webinar going on.
And hopefully that we'll have the numbers and it'll run. Okay, so while we're having a look at that, I can actually tell you where that VCE address is. So
there's I'll answer this question while you're doing that too. Will there be a summer term, term 3? No, we only have semester 1 and semester 2.
Okay, on the third slide, it actually has our phone number for VCE. It doesn't actually have the VCE mailbox, but also if you ring that phone number, that'll take you straight through to the VCE office, and you can ask your questions there. But it's pretty simple. I'll just repeat it again. It's vce@cae.edu.au. Okay, and so if you send an email to that, then just attention Drew or attention Owen, and it'll get to us straight away. Here we go. Any other questions? Beautiful.
There's the addresses anyway. It's on the last slide. So yeah. But anyway.
So you've got Owen's email. You've got my email. You can feel free to email me directly if you've got even more questions, anything that I can help you with. And can VSV be used by me, 36, who's interested in adult VCE? Sorry, it's actually for under 21.
I've got a question here. I've done math a long time ago and I want to revise. So there's a few options there. You might be interested in enrolling in one of the preparation for maths methods courses. Alternatively, you might like to enroll in Unit 1 or Unit 2 of a maths course. Unit 2 General Maths is a more general maths level. So that's dealing with sort of everyday maths and trigonometry and geometry and things like that. We also have Unit 2 Maths Methods. That's the higher level maths, sort of a calculus and sort of algebra and sort of higher level math skills. So there's sort of a few different options there depending on where your skills are at. In some of the enrollment materials, if you begin an enrollment, we have a little maths quiz for students to try their hand at, just to see where your math skills are at. And there is some information in the VCE Facts frequently asked questions document that can, right at the end, it can show you a little bit about how some of the different the difference between the different types of maths and how they sort of interlock together.
Okay, I've got another question about a subject. What subject classes are available in the evenings? As I looked in the semester 2 timetable, nothing is on. No, there are no Unit 2 subjects that run at night at the moment. What you'll see though for 2021, there will be a number of night classes for 3-4 subjects.
I'll answer another question here. Are study scores structured the same? Yes, they are. We follow all of the curriculum, the study designs and curriculum documents put out by the VCAA. The SACs are, well, they follow the VCAA study designs and curriculum, so they're scored in the same way. The assessments might be slightly different, and they will be from school to school anyway. So yeah, the study scores are all structured the same, and you'll receive study scores for your SACs if that's what you want, and then you'll receive a study score that will go towards an ATAR ranking.
Okay, so in addition to that, the whole processes of moderation that are conducted at schools by under the guidelines of VCAA or VCAR, as I like to call them. I'm more old school there, are are exactly the same. Okay, so the calculation of study scores, how study scores are translated into an ATAR score, again, is exactly the same for any institute or secondary school that delivers the VCE. They're bound by VCAR guidelines.
Okay, there's another question here. As I have to do units 1, 2, 3, and 4, will the duration be 2 years if I do it full time? I think the simple answer to that one, Drew, is yes.
Yeah, yep.
This situation looks like you will be completing a youth VCE. So that's minimum of 4 subjects, one of them being English, completed full time over 2 years.
Okay, so I think we've just got notification that's all of the questions. So again, if we go to the last slide that we had up before, where it's got our contacts,
Yep.
then as I'll just reiterate, please feel free. Owen gets lots and lots of emails, so maybe just send the questions to me and I can deal with them. Seriously, send them to either of us or send them to the VCE mailbox. Okay, if you want someone to have a look at it quickly, send it to the VCE mailbox and have attention Owen or attention Drew, or conversely, send your direct one to my email or Owen's and we'll get straight back to you. Okay, so from me, I hope the presentations helped you, and out of the attendees that I've seen, as far as the numbers are concerned, hope to see you in person in a month or so.
Yeah, and I definitely second that. So let us know if you have any questions, contact us directly, but I think from here we're going to go to the video that will show you how you can begin your application, and yeah, we look forward to seeing you in semester 2.
Okay, thanks for attending.
Thank you.
Ready to apply at Box Hill Institute? The first step is to contact us by calling 1300 Box Hill, submitting an inquiry through our website or via live chat. We're here to answer all your questions and ensure we find a course that's right for you. We will email you an application pack, which will include a link to start your application. The application will take about 30 minutes to complete and submit. Make sure you have your ID and your proof of residency handy, such as your Medicare card or your passport, as you'll need to upload a photo of this to your application. As part of the application pack, you may be required to complete a language literacy numeracy profile. This is to ensure that you meet the entry requirements into the course and for us to support you in your studies. The profile will take you around 90 minutes and must be completed in one sitting. The other one is a pre-training review document, which will ask you questions about your interests, your aspirations, your career goals, and your prior study. Once completed, you will need to upload both documents to your online application. Depending on the course that you're applying for, you may be required to submit extra documents, such as a subject selection form, a workplace declaration form, or an under 18 parent/guardian consent form. You may also be required to watch an online information session as part of your course. This will be discussed with you when you inquire. Once your application has been submitted, you may be required to attend an interview or an audition remotely. We will contact you if you're required to do this. After this, our team will be in touch to book an appointment to finalise your application. This appointment will be conducted over the phone, where we will run you through the pre-training review. This will include timetable information, fees, and student support. Once we have finalised your application, we will email you a conditional letter of offer. You'll need to follow the steps to accept your offer online. To finalise your enrolment, you'll need to make payment. There are several ways to do this, such as a payment plan or VET student loan. We look forward to welcoming you to Box Hill Institute.